Hi, my name is Agnes Fries, and I am the creator of a tool called the Grid Designer. Grid Designer is a drawing tool for making craft charts, colorful craft charts for things like crochet and knitting, cross stitch, latch hook rugs, things like that. And I want to let you know that it is absolutely and completely free. I have been a software developer for 30 years, and I am now retired, and this is my retirement project. And it is literally a gift to the crafting community. And I want you to know that there are no ads on here and there is no login required. You simply open the editor and start editing, and you can save it right there in your browser and come back and get it the next time you start up. So anyway, let's get started with this video. Hi, this video is going to be about printing and download. I'm going to show both of those options in this video, first doing the print and then the download options for your craft charts. First, we're going to start at freeze-works.com, freeze-works.com. And all you have to do from that website is to simply click on the Grid Designer tab up here at the top, and the Grid Designer will open up. Okay, so now we have our Grid Designer. I have a small project that I'm going to open. I go to Project Open, and I have this little snowflake here that I'm going to open. And I'm going to do some printing with this. Okay, so let's go to, first of all, we're going to do the printing. So let's go to Project, and then these menus that pop down from the top are scrollable. So to get to the print option, you have to scroll. And I'm using the scroll wheel on the mouse. You can also grab the scroll bar, and scroll it. But there are more options down here if you scroll that down. So let's go and pick print. Okay. And what we get is the print image settings. So these are the settings that we can set up on our project, and these are saved with the project. When you save the project and then reopen it, your settings are here. And I've had some things already set in here. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of unset these so we can start from sort of the beginning. Okay. So first up here at the top, we've got something I call rule lines, where these are heavy lines that are on the grid. These are also available in the display menu, the main display menu, which is on the right side. And you can set those up and have them displayed here. They were being displayed custom every 4 cells. So you can see what was being done down here. There were dark lines every 4 cells apart. But let's go ahead and just turn that off for now. We're going to have normal numbering and medium cells, and we're just going to see what that comes up with. So let's click on the print option, and these are basically the defaults. If you don't have anything set on your project when you start up, you end up with none, normal, medium, and then you go to print. So we'll click on the print button here. Then it prepares the picture to be printed. We'll click on print, and now when I click on print, it brings up the browsers. This window here is controlled by the browser that you are using. I am using Google Chrome, which is a free download from Google. I think it's google.com/Chrome, and you can download it. I do all of my development in Chrome, but you can use Microsoft Edge. And it will have a similar thing when you click the print button. A similar thing will come up here and show you what the pages are that are going to be printed, which is what this is doing. Okay, then you have your usual printer choices over here. And then when you want to then print that, you select your printer and you want to print it, you click on the print button, and then it should print to your printer. Okay, now this is a fairly small project, and it's just this little, what is it, 21 by 23 or something like that. And it has a list of the colors down here below. Now, right now when I'm printing this, it says used in 382 cells or 101 cells. That's the nut. Each cell is a little square on the grid. So it's just telling you the number of squares on the grid. And that can mean different things for different projects. If you're doing a latch hook project, then a cell means one little piece of latch hook pre-cut latch hook rug yarn that would go in that square. If you're doing crochet, it means a single crochet or whatever crochet that you're doing, or if you're doing corner to corner crochet, then a cell is a block, single block. So it depends upon what you're doing, but basically they're either stitches, it could be cross stitch stitches, or they could be latch hook rug cells, for each hole in the latch hook canvas. Okay, so anyway, that's what that means. Okay, so I'm going to just cancel this. I'm not going to send it to my printer. Now, there are some browsers that don't have that nice little viewport that shows you what's going to be printed, and that's what this view and window is for. So you can say view and window, and then most browsers will have some way for you to print it from this other window. In Chrome, I think there's a print on here. Yeah, there's a print on that. But this is mostly for like Firefox. I think does not have a nice little preview thing where you can see what's going to be printed before you print it. So that's what that one is for. So in general, you won't need this one. It's kind of a gray button. Generally, the blue buttons are the primary buttons, on the menu that are important. Okay, so let's go ahead and close that. Now let's set up some different options. I'm going to go to Project Print again, and now let's set up our heavy lines on the grid to show every 5 cells apart. And we got normal numbering here. Now with normal numbering, what that means is that the numbers go around each side of the drawing, and you can choose like the numbers that go along the left side. Do you want them to number from bottom to top, or do you want to the number from top to bottom? So you can select what you want for that particular side. And same thing here. So you can pick what you want out of these when you're doing normal numbering. So let's just see what that gets us. So I'm going to click on the print, and our preview will come up here. And then we can see that our numbering has changed, and it's going from the top and bottom are now going from left to right. The default is that one goes one way and the other goes the other way. And this is now going from top to bottom and from bottom to top on the right side. So that changes that. And notice these heavy lines that are being drawn on here. This makes it easier to read your chart when you're working on whatever project you're working on, and to keep your place. So especially for larger projects. Okay. So let's go in and set up a couple of other things. Let's see, I scroll down here, pick print. Okay. Now you can also do numbering from the center, which will start from 0 in the center and go out on each side. That might be useful for something like cross stitch, where some people sometimes want to start in the very center of the cross stitch pattern. Corner to corner numbers things around the edges diagonally. This is for corner to corner crochet. And corner to corner crochet is worked diagonally. So you start in one corner, and this one is starting on the bottom right. And you think of the rows as going diagonally. So this is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, etc. And so you work across these little blocks. When you're working corner to corner, there are some other crafts I think that work in that way too. So if you want it numbered diagonally, you can do that. So let's just see what that looks like. And let's change our cells size to large cells and see what that looks like. So let's print. Click the print again, and the browser's print comes up and so now our cells are bigger. So we're getting numbers because the cells are bigger. We're getting numbers. We can write them on each and every cell here. So we're getting a few more numbers if we make our cells larger. It still fits on the same page. And Grid Designer, if it doesn't fit on the same page, we'll break it up and print it on successive pages. And I'll show that in just a minute. Okay, so let's see, let's go back. Okay, and let's pick Project Print again. And let's do print symbols over colors. Okay. So often if you have a lot of colors, when it's just red and white, it doesn't matter. You can print red and white and you can see the chart and know what it is. But if you need to, um, if you have a more complicated chart and you've got a lot of different colors and the colors are kind of close to one another, you probably want to turn on the symbols. In general, the auto generate is perfectly good for doing that. If we do the auto generate and we select print, then as you can see here, we're now going to print letters on top of the chart like this. Okay, and the auto generate just starts with the alphabet, just A, B, C, D, through the uppercase and then the lowercase letters. And then if you really have a lot of colors, then it will start printing other symbols and things on here. But that can make it easier for you to read things. And it's down here in your color key, also A and B, so you can see it there. Okay, let's go back to project print. And I'll show you one more option here, and then we're going to do a little larger thing. So it's possible to assign symbols to your colors. And I actually had some already assigned here. If you, yeah, and I'm going to clear these out for right now so I can show you. If you're starting from scratch, you won't have anything set in here. You'll just see something that looks like this. So to assign a symbol, if you want the color to have a particular letter or symbol in it, then you would pick that color over here. And let's say since this is white, let's go down and find the W. So we'll find the W, pick that one, this one. While they're both selected, then you say assign. Okay, and then the W will show up over here to show you that that white is now assigned the letter W. Let's go over pick the red, and we'll go and pick R, and then we'll say assign. Okay, if you want to remove it, you simply just select the thing you want here, and then you remove it. And then let's assign it back. Okay, so now we've got W and R. And now these assignments that we make here, they they are specific to the particular palette that you're using. So whatever color palette you're using, if you set these symbols up, then they will work for every project that you do that uses that color palette. So you only have to do this once. Okay, so now let's do print. Okay, and now we can see we have W's and R's here. So you can just assign your own letters or other symbols. There's other symbols and things that are in the list that you can do. So if I click print, you can see that again here. So we've got R and W and the large size cells. Okay, so now let's get a project that's a little bit bigger. I'm not saving those changes, I think. And then let's see, this one is 140 by 188. Let's see what that looks like if I try to print that out. So let's go to Project, Print, okay, and we'll just do the normal numbering. And we'll definitely usually want to turn that on, especially if it's bigger. Do auto generate here, medium cells, and now let's go and say print. Okay. So you can see as it's generating the picture, you'll see the picture here in the background. So you can kind of see what it's going to print a little bit there. But when we click on print, then what Grid Designer will do is it will break that picture up into multiple pages. And right now, Grid Designer is only doing portrait. So this is set up for doing portrait. So you want to always have your setting to portrait over here for right now. I'm hoping to get in here and do some more printer settings and things like that, so that you can it can be optimized for printing landscape also. Okay, so what it does is it starts on the left side of the picture. There's the left side of the picture. Here's the middle part of the picture. And here's the right side of the picture. Okay, and here's the color key down here with all the letters in it, and you know, same thing that we saw in the other picture. So you can print this out. Sometimes I just read it and I staple it together and just read the pages and just turn them. But I have also done things like cut this out and tape them together to make a larger pattern. Just put some tape on the back side, and you can make a large picture out of it. Okay, so let's go on now to download. Okay, that was the printing option. This is the download option. Okay, so you go to Project, Download. Okay, now here we will see the same printer settings that we saw for print. Okay, and these settings are actually shared between download and print. So if you go and change the settings and then you save your project, then the next time you come out, these settings are actually saved with the project, and they are used both for printing and both for download. So this will look the same as it did in the printing section. Okay, so I'm pretty just going to keep, I think, the same things that I did here. Maybe we'll go to every 10 because it's kind of large. Okay, and then we're going to go to download. Okay, again, it just like for printing, it generates the picture back here. And now we can download different things. So we have some options here. We have the color key, which is that list of colors at the bottom of the picture that we were seeing before when we were printing. We have the graph image, which is just a PNG file image of the entire project picture. There is a PDF file, and that has several options in it, including written instructions, and I'll show that in just a minute. And then also I had a request from somebody to write out to an Excel spreadsheet. And it's interesting because you can edit charts like this, color charts like this in Excel, just by changing the background color of of certain cells. And I actually had done that before, interestingly enough, a few years ago when I did something, when I did a project for, I think it was Mary Maxim, um, and I did a chart of elephants, and I did it in Excel. So it was interesting to do this for somebody. So the project can also write to an Excel file. Okay, so let's take a look at what happens when we click on the download. I also want to show you probably the well, we'll just download it for now, but I'll show you in a minute how you would set up your download settings. By default, generally when your browser is installed, it's going to automatically download everything to a download directory. And that download directory is changeable inside of the browser settings. And I will show you in a little bit how you do that. Right now, I have mine set up so that it does not automatically download to the download folder, but it actually allows me to I can pick a folder that I want, and I have one already selected here because I've been putting things in here. And and you can even click on and edit the file name that it's going to save. Okay, it's just using here by default, it just uses the name of the project. And since this is the color key, it puts key underscore underneath it. So let's just save that. Okay. And for Chrome, it's coming up over here, and I can see my downloads there, and I can open it here. This is just opening in, I think it's called Photos, the Photos app. I'm on a Windows machine, so it's just opening in that, and that's the default thing for this particular type of file. You can also, let me bring this up. If you navigate to wherever your file was saved, and you would know that when you did the download, I picked this was the directory that was saved into. If you navigate to where that is, then you can see the file there. And again, I'm on a Windows machine. So you can right click on it and you can say, like if you pick edit, it will come up in Microsoft Paint and you could print it from there. But there are a whole bunch of, at least on my machine here, there's a whole bunch of different things that you could open this in. You can open it as just an image file. It's a PNG image file, and you can open it with any image editor that can open that type of file. It's a very common file. So you can open that anywhere, and then you could print it with that. Okay, so let's Put that back down, close that. Now let's try the graph image. So we're going to download that. Just going to christmastree.png. This is also a PNG file. And now that will be the picture of the entire background here. So it went up here. I'm going to say Christmas tree. Okay, and now we have the Christmas tree here. And I think that there's a way to make this larger. You know, the image is pretty dense. And you can get this, you could open it in another image editing tool and print it from there if you'd like to. I have also used online printing services, and I'll be making another video to go with this, showing one particular service, and getting one of these things printed on a large sheet of paper. So there are printing services out there where you can print this on like a 24 by 36 inch piece of paper, that kind of thing, and so that you can actually have a really nice chart. And it doesn't cost you a whole lot. The one I think I'm going to be doing is costs about, I think it was about it was 10. I had it shipped, and it was about $10 for the shipping, which was the most of it, and it was about $6, I think, for the actual printing. So you can do something like print this if you want to, or you can use whatever tool you have, on your machine to print it to your printer and then put it together after that. Okay, let me show you the PDF option now. So we're going to click on PDF. All right. And we have a little description up here at the top. Your PDF is going to contain the project graph, the chart, the main chart, and the color key. And then for additional options, you can select below. So you can have some written directions. If you were doing single crochet, you can have single crochet directions. Other crochet things are in here, half double crochet, and corner to corner crochet directions that work from the bottom right corner. Then there are some other options that I added recently, and these could be used for anyone doing anything, in particular like latch hooking or whatever. You can do, this will write the directions out from right to left. So right to left. So it would go across the chart from right to left, and it would write out how many of each color need to be put in that row. And it will go row by row, and I'll show you the directions in just a minute. Let's pick that one for now. And then some of these are different. This one goes left to right. This one alternates from right to, starts from right to left, and then it goes up a row and goes left to right and goes back and forth across the chart like that. And this one does the opposite of that, starting with left to right and then going up back and forth. So let's go ahead and download this one. Okay. So we've got Christmas tree PDF. So now we're downloading a PDF file. Okay, and I see it here. Okay, and so now here's our PDF file, and that was the picture up above there, and now we have our color key down here with all our letters in it, and after that, this is the written directions that that can be written out. So if you don't like looking at the color chart, there's a lot of options here for writing out all the colors. So basically, it'll say it's going from right to left, and it says 140 of A, which I think is black. So that's black, and that's this bottom row here, right? So it's 140 of that, and then it's 140 again, and then it would switch to the blue. Let me scroll down here. Okay. And so let's go A, and then there's a little bit of black on the edges and 136 of the blue color, and then a little bit of black on the edges. So this could be really handy. A lot of people have difficulty reading the charts. The cells are real small and all of that. You can work anything this way. Just, cross off the colors as you work them, and do it line by line. So this is definitely useful for a lot of things. Okay. All right, so that's my PDF. Okay, I just have one more download option to show you. We'll just keep everything the same here. And I got a request, as I mentioned before, to download to an Excel spreadsheet, and you can edit in there by changing the background colors. Some people have set up, little scripts and things in there and are very comfortable editing in there. So I got a request to download to an Excel spreadsheet. So if I click on the Excel spreadsheet option here, then it's going to create my XLSX file. Okay, and download it. This is a file that's created on the server and then downloaded. So it has a kind of a cryptic name. You can always change that name right there, as you're saving it. But I'm just going to save it here. And then we can open it. You can either navigate to the folder where it is, or you can, if your browser shows you what it had downloaded, it will do that. Now, there are basically 3 tabs in here that are created by Grid Designer. The first tab is this key tab here, which shows you all the colors and tells you what the color names are, what the yarn is, and what the name of the project was. And then the other tab, there's 2 other tabs here. The next tab is symbol graph, and that has a big picture with all of the colors and the symbols on it. And then you've got a color graph here, which will show you that picture. You can do things like change the cell size to make the picture smaller so you can look at it all on one screen and that kind of thing. Okay, so anyway, that's that. Okay, and that's all of the download options then. Oh, let me show you one more thing in here. I mentioned earlier I was going to show you how to change the download settings in your browser. So generally, this is Google Chrome, which is a free download from Google. I think it's google.com/Chrome to get to the download. And if you want to use that, but also if you're using something else like Microsoft Edge or Firefox or something, there's generally a menu up here that you can click on, and that will show you things that you can select for your browser. And then what you're going to be looking for is settings. I think it's generally called settings and everything. Sometimes there'll be a little wheel type thing that will indicate settings. And then you need to look for downloads. And so I'm going to pick downloads here. And that shows me where I can download, where my download folder is. And it also has a switch in here, which is important. This is a switch you can turn on whether you want to be able to select where to save each file. And this allows you to be able to pick a folder to put the files in when they download, and also allows you to change the name of the file as you save it. So turning this on will do that for you. And if this is off, then it will go then your files are going into this downloads directory. So if you're doing the download and nothing seems to happen to you, this is probably where they're going. So if you look in your browser settings and do this, you'll see that they're going off to this downloads directory. If you want to be able to change, at the time that you download where you're putting things, then you want to put that switch on. And that's pretty common in all the browsers, and even in things on tablets and in the iPhone, there's some kind of setting like this. Although I think on the iPhone the settings are inside the settings area instead of there being a menu here or whatever. When you're on a tablet and stuff, usually there's a settings um, app that you go and use, and you change the settings there for things. So it might be in a different place. Um, anyway, but this is all controlled by the browser. Okay, back to here. And I think that we're done. I've showed the print and the download and how you do the settings for your browser. And I think that should be about it. So thanks very much for watching, and happy designing. Bye bye.